Welcome back everyone to Bernie Man's Gaming Vault. Today we're diving headfirst into one of the most legendary RTS franchises of all time, Command & Conquer. I've spent countless hours playing these games over the years, probably more than I care to admit, and today I'm ranking my personal top 5 Command & Conquer games of all time. And if you don't agree with me, well, that's what the comments are for, so get in there and let me know what you think and what's your top 5 and what you disagree with about what I say. So let's jump in. Kicking things off at number 5, we've got Command & Conquer 3, Tiberium Wars. Released in 2007, this one was a big comeback for the series after a bit of a dry spell, and man, did it deliver. This game was like EA saying, hey, we didn't forget how to do this RTS thing, you know. The campaign was solid and the graphics were actually pretty sick for the time, and best of all, it brought back Kane. GDI had that slick, futuristic tech. Nod brought their sneaky hit-and-run chaos.
Park it there.
Tiberium Wars nailed that balance between modern RTS mechanics and old-school base building. You still had your harvesters, your power plants, your walls of obelisks, but it also had smooth UI, fast combat, and an online scene that for a while was genuinely competitive. It wasn't perfect, the AI could be wired and the expansions, Kane's Wrath, fixed a lot, but for a solo or casual multiplayer experience, Tiberium Wars still holds up. It earns its spot on this list for me. At number 4, we go a bit deeper into the Tiberium lore, the Tiberian Sun.
The harvester will automatically begin harvesting any nearby Tiberium.
This was the moody, darker middle child of the franchise, and honestly, I loved the vibe. It released in 1999, and this game had such a different tone. Everything was gloomier, grittier, and more sci-fi apocalypse. GDI had mechs, actually walking tanks. Nod had stealth, burrowing units, and those creepy cyborg commandos who just refused to die. The missions were a step up too. More dynamic objectives, more story-driven sequences, and this was where Command & Conquer really doubled down on cinematics. Michael Biehn from Aliens and Terminator voiced McNeil. Come on, that's a win. And the soundtrack, oh man, it doesn't get as much love as Hell March, but there's some truly haunting tracks in here. Now, I'm not saying Tiberian Sun was flawless, the pacing could drag, and pathfinding was, well, it was 90s RTS pathfinding, but it had vision. And it pushed the lore and the tech forward in a way few other games did at the time. Now, coming in hot at number 3, the one and only, the one that started it all, the OG Command & Conquer. This game didn't just define a series, it helped define an entire genre. Westwood took what they'd done with Dune 2 and cranked it up. Full story campaigns, 2 distinct factions, and that amazing EVA voice. Reinforcements have arrived. Even with its age, there's a certain magic here. You build up your base, send out little pixelated tanks, capture enemy buildings with engineers. It's simple but pure. And Kane, right out the gate, he was a force. Charismatic, terrifying, philosophical, and a perfect villain. And let's not forget about the multiplayer. You versus your buddy, one on Nod, one on GDI, pure adrenaline. Well, back in the day, if you were like me, you're playing skirmish against the AI and trying to build a fortress of obelisks. Even now with the remastered collection, it's totally playable and still fun. And that says something. The game walked so the rest could sprint. An absolutely gem of a game.
Lost. Mission accomplished.
Alright, runner-up status has to go to a fan favourite, Red Alert.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Released after C&C, it took everything that worked and said, let's get wired with it. An alternate timeline where Einstein deletes Hitler, Soviets with Tesla technology, dogs that eat spies. I mean, this was wild, but it worked, and it gave the franchise a whole new identity. Red Alert had some of the most fun and balanced RTS combat of the time. Allies had speed and tech, Soviets had brute force and those sweet, sweet mammoth tanks. And let's talk music. Hell March. I mean, what more can be said? What an absolute iconic song from the soundtrack. It absolutely gripped you, this song, and made you love the game even more. It's still most people's go-to anthem. The cutscenes in this game were campy in the best way, and Tanya quickly became a breakout star. Gameplay-wise, it was just polished, fast-paced and addictive. It even had naval combat, which was super ahead of its time. Red Alert wasn't just a great sequel, it was a reimagining that showed how flexible the Command & Conquer formula really was. I spent many hours on this, playing with friends, family, playing skirmishes online. It was just hours and hours of fun. Even to making your own maps in the editor that were just absolute carnage. Created specifically so you could build mental bases and then absolutely thrash it out in the middle of the map. What a game.
A-bomb prepping. A-bomb launch detected.
And here it is, my number one Command & Conquer game of all time. It had to be Generals for me. Oh yeah, let the flame wars begin. I know this one's divisive, no Kane, no Tiberium, no time traveling Einsteins, but Generals, it hit different. It felt like Command & Conquer had grown up. The tone was modern military, gritty, and slightly over the top. USA, China and the GLA felt widely different to play, and that asymmetry made it incredibly deep. You had real-world inspired units like stealth bombers, overlord tanks with Gatling guns on top, and the GLA's ridiculous tunnel spam. And then came Zero Hour, which cranked it all up to 11. The General system added so much variety, each one felt like a mini faction. Laser General, Toxin General, Air Force General. They forced you to think differently with every match. Multiplayer was absolutely chaos, in the best way. Resource collection was fast, rushes were deadly. Late game super weapons, devastating. The meta was constantly evolving, and even now, there's still an active community keeping Generals alive. And yeah, the story was more Saturday morning news parody than high drama, but it had incredible balance. Fast action and some of the most intense online matches I've ever played in an RTS. For me, this was peak Command & Conquer. It's like they took all the lessons from the past games and made a version that was accessible, deep and insanely fun. This was close between Red Alert and Generals for the number one spot. Red Alert hits more nostalgia for me because it brings back a lot of great memories. Generals, I just found, was an all-round better game. It just had so much to it, and I thought it was a big leap in what the franchise was capable of and what it had in the tank. So that's why I picked it at number one. So there it is, everyone, my personal top 5 Command & Conquer games of all time. From gritty Tiberian battles to alternative history mayhem and modern military chaos, this franchise gave us decades of strategy gold. I know everyone's list is different. Some folks love Red Alert too, and yeah, I had it on my list, and then I took it off my list, and then I put it back on my list, and I think I rejigged my list 3 or 4 times before settling on the top 5. And even now, while I'm doing the video, I'm like, oh, should I have done that one there? Should I have not? Let me know your top 5 down in the comments, and if you've got some hot takes, I want to hear them. So thanks everyone for watching, and if you liked the video, please hit that like button. And if you're enjoying the content on the channel, please hit that subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel and helps it grow. And hit that bell as well for notifications on future releases. And until next time, look after yourselves, keep gaming. I'll see you in the next video.